and welcome to Doctor Who and the Drinks Trolley, Episode 1. I'm Pierre.
And I am Vivian, the last daughter of Sparrow.
Hello, Vivian. Today's featured beverage is the Martini. If you'd like us to cheers your favorite beverage in a future episode, just send a description or the recipe to the email address on your screen. So Vivian, what story do you want to talk about today?
We will talk about Doctor Who, The Curse of Peladon, broadcast January 29th to February 19th, 1972.
Great choice. One of my favorites. This episode stars John Pertwee as the Third Doctor and Katie Manning as the companion, Josephine Grant.
She is your favorite companion.
Yes, she is. And look, she signed this just for me. Now, of course, the story also stars David Troughton, Patrick Troughton's son, as King Peladon of Peladon. And actually, Vivian, don't you think that's kind of weird? It would be like if my parents had called me Earth, because that's the planet I'm from.
Maybe they were hippies.
Maybe they were. Ultimately, this is a story of a conference with Islar, Arcturus, Alpha Centauri, the Earth delegate, and King Peladon. They're trying to get Peladon into the Galactic Federation.
The Galactic Federation is not unlike your Earth's Common Market, 1957, European Union, 2009, and North American Free Trade Agreement, 1994.
You make a very good point there. So the Doctor takes the TARDIS out on a test flight, but he's diverted by the Time Lords to the planet Peladon. Jo, of course, is all dolled up to go out on her date with Mike Yates. Hey, Vivian, do you think they ever made it to that date?
It was not to be.
The TARDIS lands on the side of a cliff. The Doctor jumps out onto a windy ledge. He coaxes Jo to jump out into the safety of his arms. Just as the TARDIS goes falling and crashes to the ground hundreds and hundreds of feet below. Jo, of course, thinks that the TARDIS has been destroyed.
But the Doctor assures her it is indestructible.
Well, that's a relief. Not everyone wants to join the Federation. As we soon discover, Hepesh is using violence, murder, superstition, and the curse of Agador, the sacred beast of Peladon. Hepesh, played by Jeffrey Toons, is the king's high priest and the fanatical leader of the world's religion, based upon the sacred beast, Agador. Don't you think that Agador looks an awful lot like Alf from 1980's sitcom, or is it just me?
Alf ran from September 22nd, 1986 to March 24th, 1990 on NBC.
Okay. Agador is actually played by Nick Hobbs. The King's Chancellor, Torbis,
Played by Henry Gilbert,
is the first to die at the hands of Hepesh and Grun.
played by Gordon St. Clair.
Yes, thank you, Vivian. The Doctor is highly suspicious of ice warriors Islar and Sorg, and for good reason.
After the events of the Ice Warriors, 1967, and The Seeds of Death, 1969, they're starring Patrick Troughton as the Second Doctor.
That's true, but right now this story takes place in the far-flung future, and Islar, the Ice Lord, explains to the doctor that they have long ago turned away from the use of violence.
Except in self-defense.
True. Well, that's quite a storm out there on Peladon.
Wind, thunder, desolation. I don't like it. It reminds me of Scarrow.
Does it? And look, now we're thrown right out into the throne room, and everybody's arguing.
Nice sets and lighting. Very moody.
Joe looks great too.
You would say that.
Yes, I would. But you're right though about the sets and the lighting. The costume designs are really good too.
Look out! Surrounded by guards and taken to the throne room.
I love this bit as the doctor pretends to be the Earth delegate.
Her Royal Highness Princess Josephine of Tardis is presented to Peladon.
There's definitely some chemistry there.
Glenn just snuck out of the throne room. Where is he going? I hope those guards are not being paid very much.
I know, right?
Look out!
Ooh. A huge statue just came crashing down out of a nook and smashed into pieces on the ground. Thanks to the doctor, no one was killed.
Joe sneaks out of the throne room to sift for clues.
See what I mean? Grun seems to be on everybody's side, depending on which way the wind's blowing. Joe and the doctor think the Martians are up to no good.
The Martians think Joe and the doctor are up to no good. The doctor is accused of trying to kill Arcturus.
Look at that. There goes Joe again, sifting for clues. Look at all of the finger pointing going on. Did you see that? Oh, and there goes Joe, out the window.
Back into the storm outside. The doctor is sentenced to death again.
For religious reasons this time. Joe pleads with Peladon, but the best he seems to be able to do is to lower the sentence to the battle to the death against Grun. Hang on a minute. Peladon doesn't know there's tunnels under the castle.
He has led a sheltered life.
That's not sheltered, that's ridiculous. Now they're alone in the throne room again. Maybe they'll kiss.
Nah, she is mad.
He proposed? Talk about mixed signals.
He will not win her that way.
You know, for a Dalek, you're very sensitive.
I am a romantic.
Okay. So anyway, Hepesh is trying to help the doctor escape.
I do not believe it.
Oh no?
He is up to something.
There are guards in the tunnel.
Did everyone else know about the tunnels?
Well, it sure seems to be that way. Hepesh has sent the guards down into the tunnels to kill the doctor. But the doctor's bumped into Agador on his way while he was following the map to get out. Naru, 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 Naru. The doctor has tamed the beast.
And Joe stumbled in and ruined everything.
Everybody's looking for the doctor, and he walks into the throne room with Joe. And they claim to have seen Agador, the beast of Peladon. Hepesh forces the king's hand, and the doctor is put into the pit to fight to the death with Grun. The doctor wins, but lets Grun live.
Arcturus tries to kill the doctor.
Islir kills Arcturus. Now Hepesh is raising a squad of guards to lead a rebellion against the king. Communications are down.
Sabotage!
With all the guards in helmets and blue skirts fighting against each other in the throne room, I can't tell the goodies from the baddies. Peladon has a sword against his throat.
It would seem Hepesh has won.
But the doctor arrives with Agador. Hepesh is killed by Agador. King Peladon is crying.
Now I am sad. Yay, it is a tortoise.
Yes, it is. And King Peladon looking resplendent in that fantastic collar. That's it for today. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what story you'd like to see, as well as what you thought of this episode in the comments section down below. Join us next time for Spanish Coffee and Shada. I'm Pierre.
And I am Vivian.
See you next time.